Good morning, YouTube. What's going on, y'all? This is Rich. Give me another video about Stephen Transport. I'm sitting here at the my shipper right now, getting loaded, so I have a few minutes to kill before I take off. Percentage versus cents per mile. That's the question. Which is better? Which is better? What do you think? Let me explain something to y'all. Okay. I'm on a load right now, right? That's going only 500 miles. That's paying me $1,500. That's Stephen Transport. You wouldn't get that. Not at all, sir. And you know what? Stevens can be such a better place if they did that for their contractors. You know, that Alliance program is terrible. Ideal. I mean, there are people who worked it for a long time, but the way they worked it was by being a trainer and never taking off for work. You know, where I'm at now, I don't have to do all that. You know, I had some pretty rough training experiences training some of the people at Stevens Transport. Okay, there's this term called throwing meat to the wall. I hope it sticks. Being at Stevens is a training school, they do that a lot. I had a couple trainees that, scared me, were dangerous. Shouldn't have been behind the wheel, shouldn't have their CDL. But what can you do when that's your main income source? Kind of in a catch-22. And if you die because of a student, Stevens will collect insurance money for it and not care. The Aaron brothers, who run Stevens Transport, are wealthy. If you guys go to Stevens Transport, look on top of that hill, right there by the let me see, what is it? By the garage where the where you take the trucks to get fixed. It's a top of the hill. It's an executive park up there. It's a black tarp that be up there. One time I walked out there, and I guess Clay or Troy, Aaron, had a Mercedes-Benz McLaren up there. Oh my God, man, that's a $300,000 vehicle. That's a Formula One race car. He had it. I remember that was a big thing because that was my dream car. I'm busting my ass so he can drive around in Mercedes, Bentleys, Ferraris. You should do your research about the Aarons, Steve Aaron and all them. I think they're like one of the wealthiest families in Dallas, Texas. Actually, I think one of them was featured in the magazine for having the nicest, most expensive home in Dallas, Texas at one point. They refuse to pay the drivers more. That's bullshit. They could still be wealthy, but greed and capitalism in the United States is a bitch. And if you don't educate yourself about this trucking industry, you're going to get caught up in some shit. And you'll be mad at yourself like I am at mine. Now, I'm not going to say Stevens is a horrible company. They're terrible. Oh, don't go there. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get sued. But I've just put this information out for you to get informed. You're working hard for individuals who don't really appreciate their drivers. I'm sorry. I can't remember the last time I got a bonus there. And I'm not talking about that bullshit fuel bonus they give. I'm talking a real bonus, like $500 a quarter or $600 here for safety or just anything. They don't give no money up. They fought and argued to pay their drivers more than $1 a mile for Alliance. I think guys are making between $1 and $1.02 a mile. That's crazy. That sounds like a lot to you, right? You're probably thinking to yourself, if I run 3,000 miles and $1 a mile is $3,000. Listen, when you have to pay for that truck note and the fuel, no, it's not. Your fixed cost, or more like $2,100 a week. So that doesn't leave anything left for you. The truck's paid, the fuel's paid, but you're not. Listen, folk, if I can give you any advice, I would tell you to stay away from Alliance at Stevens Transport, okay? And get your experience and leave. I mean, it is literally night and day. And some of y'all can't leave. I understand that you don't have enough experience. You got to work there for at least 6 months. But once you hit that 6 months mark, go. Don't be a fool like me, man. When I sit back and think about all the money I lost and all the money I made these people, I have never met the owners of the company. And see, that's sad. I think that's sad. I think that Clay, Troy, Bennett, Angela, who else? There's a couple more. They should come down and talk to drivers and not just hide up in that executive office. You should see them. There should be a mystery. They knew me when something went wrong. I had a situation where I picked up a load out of Colston, California. That's Ontario, California. It's outside of LA. And me and a student picked it up. Picked it up on time. Okay. It was lettuce. We were taking up to Michigan. No, not Michigan. Minnesota. Okay. To this new Walmart they'd put up there, or a new contract Stevens must have had. The problem was I took Interstate 15 north to Interstate 80 during the wintertime, only weighing about 6,000 pounds. Now, you guys don't know what that is, right? But if you weigh 6,000 pounds driving across Interstate 80 in Wyoming, you asking for it, okay? It was a bad choice. Yeah, I mean, I could have probably took the longer way, but the problem is they're not paying for it. The miles that they were paying me for were routing me through Interstate 80. That sucks. They know that. They used to route you around Interstate 80, but they got cheap on us. Or stingy. They stopped routing drivers around Interstate 80. They're actually making drivers go through Interstate 80 in the wintertime. Okay? They used to route you from California to Amarillo up to where you need to go, skipping Interstate 80. But now they stopped doing that. They even went as far to stop routing people through Interstate 70 west of Denver. Listen, I took Interstate 70 west of Denver in July. It was July 4th. I was up on that Eisenhower Mountain, 17 to 18,000 feet up. And guess what? It snowed. It was snowing up there in July, middle of the damn summer. That's because they didn't want to pay to route me on Interstate 40 to go where I need to go. They told me I had to take Interstate 70. So back to my story. Anyway, I'm driving up Interstate 15. The wind gusts are about 40 miles an hour. So what do? I'm a veteran driver. Number one goal in your CDL is to protect it. It's very easy to get. It's very hard to get. Very easy to lose, I should say. Okay? You get a ticket, you tip a truck, you tip over a truck, you're gonna have a hard time getting a job. And you know what? Companies don't care. Stevens don't care. You tip a driver, okay, that's another driver at the door. They don't care. But they want their load there on time. So I couldn't run the load. I had to stop. And I stopped. Me and my student was like, well, this is getting too dangerous. We informed them, hey, listen, Stevens, we can't run this load. Okay? It's a little dangerous up here. Okay, a little risky. And I parked the truck, and the next day we ran it in. Well, I get a call from my dispatcher telling me, well, ownership is watching you, Mr. Bell. Fuck that mean? They're watching me. Ownership. Listen, Mr. Aaron, I'm gonna need you to pay to watch me, sir. You watch TV, okay? Okay. When you got your experience drive, I've been here 7 years, and I make a decision that's for safety reasons. Safety, their safety department's bullshit. They say safety, hint, hint, but as long as they don't interfere with the load. And that particular day it did, and I had a radar on my back. You know, really, if they would have routed me through another way, I could have got there on time. But I couldn't. You know, I wasn't going to risk my life or my student's life. You guys are new drivers. Wyoming is a beast. Wyoming it's like going to Mars, like another planet. It's weird. I don't understand why it's like that up there. But one day it can be a beautiful sunny sky. Next day it can be Armageddon. I was up there one day, driving across. We drove from Nebraska to San Francisco. It was beautiful, beautiful, nice scenic drive on Interstate 80. Especially going through Wyoming, it was beautiful. Oh, I looked around, oh, it was a gorgeous day. So I thought in my head, I said, well, you know what? The weather's nice. Let me get another load from San Francisco back over to Chicago. I think I was going. Let me take 80 again. Got back over there and hell broke loose. All hell broke loose. What I mean, snow, ice, blizzard, 80 mile an hour gust winds. We parked at the truck stop, right? And we were about 42,000 pounds loaded. That's about 22 tons. And I was scared the truck was going to tip over. The wind was so violent, it broke off my fenders in the back of my truck. It broke them off. Snapped them right off. Who's going to risk their life for a load, you know? But they don't care. You know, they don't care. They put a target on my back. My next video, I'll tell you why I quit. I just got tired of it, and I took a chance. But, you know, when you get paid $1 a mile at the Alliance, and you're a solo driver, you're setting yourself up for failure. Okay? You are. You're setting yourself up for failure. Right now, I'm on a load that pays me $1,500. It's like I've driven 1,500 miles. I'm only driving 5, and it's due tomorrow. So I drive 200 today. It may be 300 tomorrow, or 250 today. And $1,500. Boom. Okay, people. If Steve Aaron and them weren't so selfish, they would have a lot of longevity there with drivers. It wouldn't be such a high turnover. If they went and changed the dynamics of Stevens Transport to make sure drivers were really making good money. My God in heaven, if I made percentage at Stevens Transport, my goodness. You know? So anyway, this is a little quick video. I feel like talking about them. You know, I'm not mad at Stevens. Really, I wish Steve Aaron was my father. Give me a cushy job. I mean, you should look up that hill. They got Cadillac Escalades, Mercedes-Benz G-Wagons, Mercedes-Benz McLaren, all black with red seats. My color. Lamborghini, a Bentley. You know, and you got drivers who can't even feed themselves or their families. That's a problem. I'm sorry. That's unacceptable. Okay? The executive staff needs to care about those things. Okay? You need to care about people who are in the hole longer than a week. There should be a red flag in your system that say, hey, whoa, this guy didn't make any money for this week. Let's get him right. Okay? They don't care. And you know, I don't blame them. This country allows them to do it. I guess at the end of the day, I wish it was me. I mean, greed in this country is what it is. Anyway, this is Rich. I'm just talking to you from a shipper. I'm out. Peace.